reactions on what you're seeing right there. Good afternoon, I'm Terrence Lee.
And I'm Sylvia Perez. Weather is first at 4. Did you get out today? Because it was a nice day, but it's going to get even better. Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls standing by with her first check as this has become a lovely shot every day for us, hasn't it?
You know, it's been kind of a nice little treat in the 4 o'clock hour that we're getting these sunsets now. I know not everybody loves it, but, you know, for our sake, we get to talk about it during the show, which is nice. All right, temperatures out there right now. It's very mild. We're in the low to mid 50s, and typically for this time of the year, average highs are right around 50 degrees, so we're pretty close to that. Again, it is still fairly comfortable, and we have a breeze, but it's not nearly as gusty as where we have been over the last couple of days. Your evening planner, temperatures are going to be dropping out of the 50s into the 40s by about 6 or 7 p.m. And then tonight, we're counting on low temperatures in the upper 30s for the suburbs, low 40s in the city. Here's where we're headed, though. We're going to be in the mid to upper 60s on Friday and Saturday before we drop back down into the 40s early next week. Your full forecast is coming up.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. We are monitoring the health of civil rights leader, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. The 84-year-old has been hospitalized. Jackson is said to be under observation for PSP, a rare neurological disease.
With reports that Border Patrol Chief Greg Movino and his team are preparing to move out of Chicago, there is word this afternoon of a new operation being launched in Charlotte. This is expected to happen as early as Saturday.
A federal judge is getting an up-close look at the Broadview ICE processing facility to take a look at it firsthand.
And this happened because of a class action lawsuit filed last month that said conditions were inhumane.
Kasey Chronis is live in Broadview with what we know about that highly anticipated visit. Kasey, have you heard anything?
Well, the tour lasted more than 4 hours, and because pictures were allowed to be taken inside, we can bet every detail was documented, though we don't expect to see those photos until they are presented in court. Magistrate Judge Laura McNally and attorneys for the ACLU and MacArthur Justice Center were seen leaving the building here on Beach Street about 30 minutes ago. A translator was with the group, and so was the former commissioner of New York City's Department of Correction, Dora Shiro. She was brought on as an expert for the plaintiffs in this case, and according to attorneys, she regularly inspects detention facilities for the California Department of Justice, so this is in her wheelhouse. The lawsuit alleges deplorable conditions on site, including clogged toilets, no access to showers, very little food and water, and no contact with attorneys. Last week, as part of this case, a judge ordered the government to fix that. Attorneys for the detainees did not speak with us after the tour, but we are expecting them to issue a statement at some point this evening. The government also agreed to provide a list of all of the people currently being held inside. Reporting live in Broadview, Kasey Chronis, Fox 32, Chicago.
Thank you, Kasey. An independent attorney is now challenging the limits that have been placed on protest hours at that facility. Robert Held describes himself as an attorney and community activist. He says he's filed a motion for a preliminary injunction in federal court to stop the enforcement of the village's protest curfew hours, calling them unconstitutional.
Our constitutional rights are not from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I hope that ultimately the mayor of Broadview, Mayor Katrina Thompson, and a federal judge will very quickly recognize that the executive order was unconstitutional and can be amended.
Held says the right to protest loses its power if the government controls when people can speak, and that he is fighting for everyone's right to assemble and be heard when it matters most.
A daycare teacher who was detained by ICE is now back home after being released from custody in Indiana. Diana Santillano Galliano was arrested last week inside a daycare on the north side. Homeland Security says they pulled her over for a traffic stop and that she tried to run into the center. They also said they were not targeting the center. Her attorney says she is in the U.S. legally as an authorized asylum seeker.
The DOJ is suing to block California's new congressional maps. It comes after voters in that state overwhelmingly approved Prop 50 that would redistrict the state's congressional maps, helping Democrats win more seats. The governor had put the issue up for a vote after similar moves in Texas to benefit Republicans were supported by President Trump.
I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again.
The government is back open. President Trump signed a bill last night ending the 43-day shutdown, the longest in U.S. history.
The Trump administration is estimating that the shutdown cost the economy $92 billion, or about $15 billion per week.
And about 60,000 non-federal workers lost their jobs over the past month and a half because of the shutdown's effects.
In Chicago, federal workers have begun returning to the office, many of whom missed 2 full paychecks and a partial one during the shutdown. A senior Trump administration official says agencies have been directed to issue back pay as soon as possible. DHS has also announced $10,000 bonuses for some TSA employees.
They're going to get a bonus check for stepping up, taking on extra shifts, for showing up each and every day, for serving the American people.
Nome did hand out nearly 24 bonus checks to employees at George Bush International Airport in Houston, but did not elaborate on the specific qualifications for TSA agents to receive those bonus checks, or she didn't say how many employees would actually be getting them.
Now, listen, flights are still being disrupted at this hour. O'Hare's taking a big hit. Nationwide, nearly 1,000 flights were canceled today, and at least 400 more are already canceled for tomorrow. Air traffic controllers are back at work. The FAA says flight cuts will stay at 6%. That's instead of increasing it like planned. The aviation industry says it'll take a few days to get flights back to normal. And with the shutdown now over, Illinois officials say families will get their full SNAP benefits by November 20th. That's just in time for Thanksgiving. Nearly 2 million people in Illinois use the food assistance program and depend on it. Benefits were delayed and cut during the shutdown because the Trump administration didn't use emergency funds to pay for it. But heating assistance, that is still on hold. The low-income home energy assistance program was hit by the shutdown. Grants are usually given out in mid-November. Right now, there's no word on when that help will come. The program helps about 6 million people heat and cool their homes.
And the days are numbered for hemp-derived drinks and products like Delta 8 and 9 weed in Illinois and across the country.
And that's because a small part of the federal government reopening deal banned them for good. Paris Schutz is here with the latest on this.
This was a surprise provision thrown in there, Terrence and Sylvia, at the last minute. You know, the products like these drinks or Delta 8 vapes are all sold in convenience stores across Chicago and the region now. And that's because a loophole in a farm bill that passed years ago left out any regulations. So these businesses started operating in legal limbo. They popped up. They started selling their drinks all over the place, while state and city lawmakers tried and failed to put any regulations on them. Now, thanks to provision in the bill to reopen the government, those businesses will have 1 year from yesterday to cease operations, as their products will be illegal. Now, Charles Wu is the owner of a store called Shitiva. It's in Bucktown in the South Loop. He says his businesses are now thrown for a loop.
This stuff is in everyday society. It's not going to go away. Right? So instead of having honest business people who are willing to be regulated, it's going to push it into some gray market or other thing, because the consumers have obviously spoken, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses just in Chicago alone.
So the debate over regulation of these hemp products has been smoldering for years. Opponents have long said the federal ban will be good for health and public safety. They've argued that without regulation, they were dangerous. It's impossible to know what exactly is in them or how high a concentration of the THC that gets someone high is in there. Not to mention legal cannabis businesses. They were incensed that they paid millions to comply with a strict regulatory apparatus, while these other businesses seem to get off scotch-free. And the city had budgeted new hemp taxes that would have helped the budget deficit with an estimated $10 million in revenue. That's all out the window now. Second Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins, who has long tried to ban hemp, says he's glad the bill passed, but the process of dismantling an entire industry will be very complicated.
We're expecting some guidance from the FDA. We're possibly even hopeful that we'll get some federal assistance to jurisdictions like Illinois that have a thriving legal cannabis industry. We need help. We can't do this overnight. We can't just purge the shelves of gas stations and mini-marts of these illegal products. And we're going to need to hire regulators and enforcers, and there's a cost to that. So we went from thinking that we were going to make money on this by taxing it Now we're going to have to spend money because it's a government expense to try to regulate these products out of existence, but public safety demands that we do that.
Now, Governor Pritzker has come out against hemp-derived weed products as well. He wanted the state to ban them. They did not get that done. So it doesn't seem like statewide legalization is in the cards for these businesses. What will have to be sorted out is the hemp products that still remain legal. Anything that makes clothes or other materials, you can still use hemp for that. Just deriving a product that gets you high, that is going to be illegal. Sylvia?
Okay, thanks for that, Paris. An important consumer alert. The Illinois Department of Public Health is urging parents and guardians to stop using By Heart baby formula. It has been recalled and linked to 15 suspected cases of infant botulism. At least 2 infants in Illinois have become sick after consuming this product. Infant botulism is a serious infection with symptoms that may include drowsiness, a weak cry, poor muscle tone, constipation, and other issues. An Arizona father says his 4-month-old was hospitalized for weeks, and he is now suing the makers of the By Heart formula, alleging the company was negligent and that parents should be able to trust labels.
Our child doesn't seem to have any lasting effects, so there's hope in that sense. You know, the one mistake I made was I wish I had taken her to the doctor and insisted to look a little closer, a little sooner.
By Heart is an organic formula and sells around 200,000 cans of formula every month nationwide in stores such as Target, Walmart, and also online.
Chicago's treasurer just pulled city money out of U.S. Treasury bonds. She says the move protests President Trump. The decision hits about $200 million the city held in those bonds. It also affects the $10 billion portfolio her office manages. Conservative aldermen push back and say the city should support the country. They also say Treasury bonds give strong returns for taxpayers. The treasurer says other options earn the same rate and keep city money safe. The council now waits to see if this changes how the city invests through next year. Metro's approved next year's budget today in Chicago. The price tag hits $1.2 billion. The main point for you is simple. Your fare stays the same in 2026. Your train schedule stays the same, too. Metro says new state money covers a nearly $28 million hole because Metro expects its COVID funds to run out late next year. Metro also plans over $515 million in upgrades. The RTA reviews everything next.
ACA health insurance tax credits could end in December, and that is leaving millions of people in limbo. Will your health insurance premiums go up in the new year? The answer could be yes. We're talking with an expert coming up after the break.
Thinking of moving the next time you pack up the house, you may be able to pack your mortgage too. We'll explain the pros and cons of portable mortgages.
Pause Chicago.
Indiana residents, listen up. MD Wise is being removed from Indiana's Medicaid program, and that is happening effectively January 1st. This is going to impact some 300,000 people. Now, while those families are being told to change their health insurance company, the Indianapolis-based MD Wise says it is launching a court challenge claiming Indiana is breaking a 4-year contract. MD Wise has provided Indiana Medicaid services for more than 3 decades.
Well, now that the government shutdown is over, what does this mean for subsidies for the Affordable Care Act?
Obamacare has been at the core of this shutdown battle. The subsidies are expected to expire at the end of the year. So joining us to talk about the impact and what's happening next is Kathy Hempstead. She is a senior policy officer with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Thanks for joining us.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
So the latest numbers we got from 2024 was that more than 45 million people were enrolled in the ACA insurance plan. So it's believed those numbers may actually be higher now. What does this mean for them?
Well, it's true that over the last several years, enrollment in the marketplace has grown a lot and reached as high as 25 million in 2025. And largely that's attributed to the fact that there have been these enhanced premium tax credits that have made coverage a lot cheaper. And I think the news story that everyone is kind of digesting right now is that, it looks very much like those enhanced premium tax credits are not going to be extended past the end of 2000 and, the current year, 25. So when people go to the marketplace to choose plans for 2026, they are going to be confronted with higher premiums that reflect the fact that those enhanced premium tax credits are gone.
And how should they navigate that with open enrollment going on right now? Does that change certain options for them? What do you recommend they keep their eye out on?
Well, I'll say a few things. I wish I had a magic wand or a magic trick that would make the problem go away, but unfortunately I don't. I mean, one thing I would want to reassure people and really double down on is that the coverage is still the same. The coverage is comprehensive. It covers all major medical treatment services, diseases, drugs, everything. So even though there have been some people going around saying it's terrible coverage and this and that, that's not true. The coverage is the same. The coverage is very comprehensive, and it's comparable to what you would get in an employer setting. So I just want to establish that. But it's going to cost more because people's premium tax credits are going to be smaller. And in the case of people that are at the higher end of the income distribution, that is people who are over 400% of the federal poverty level, and that is, roughly $62,000 a year. So it's not, someone who's enormously wealthy, but people that are over that income level are no longer going to get any tax credits. And that's a real hardship for them, because those people are going to be looking at the, sort of the pure retail cost of the coverage. And if they're older, their premiums are going to be even higher. So those are people that are going to really confront some sticker shock. So what I would say to be helpful is, yes, shop around. Some people might want to consider dropping down to a lower metal, like maybe dropping from a silver plan to a bronze plan, or drop from a gold plan to a silver plan, and that way they could pay a lower premium. But of course, there's no free lunch. So the offset there is that they're going to be asked to make more out-of-pocket expenditures when they seek care. So they'll have a higher deductible, they'll have a higher maximum out of pocket, and they're going to have to pay more when they go to get care. But I think, unfortunately, I think some people are going to feel like that's their best option, or that's the only option that they have.
Can you give us an example? You talk about the different tiers. Insurance is so confusing enough as it is, and you're saying shop around, which can be very complicated, but give me an example of what that might be a premium number right now that someone's paying that might change, and by how much when January comes around, if this has not been extended.
Yeah, sure. I would be glad to. And it is very complicated. I feel sorry for people that have to wade through all this stuff. But the marketplace has a few different metal levels: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and they correspond to sort of different combinations of premiums and deductibles and cost sharing, basically. So the more precious the metal, the higher the premium and the lower the cost sharing. Most people pick silver. That's about where 65% of people are. So that's what my example is going to be. So suppose you are a this is a very unfortunate kind of situation. Suppose you are a 60-year-old person and you make just over 400% of the federal poverty level. Like right now, if you lived, just took a random zip code in Cook County. If you lived in Cook County, you might have a silver plan that costs you something like $446 a month. But now you're going to be looking at something that's a little over $1,000.
Oh, wow.
So that's more than a doubling, and it's just a really big number. Paying $1,000 a month for a healthcare premium, is a lot. And even with a silver plan, you're still gonna have a decent amount of cost sharing. So that's a real hardship for a lot of people. That's a big increase.
Yeah.
Ms. Kathy, anything else you think needs clarification? Anything we haven't asked you about that you have seen a lot of confusion about that you want to clear up for people?
I do think it's been such a difficult lead up to open enrollment for consumers, and I think there's been so much kind of negative talk about the market, and there's been a lot of disparagement about the coverage. So I would again reinforce the fact the coverage is good. It is just as good as it's ever been. It's really just like coverage you would get at work. It covers all the same things. So don't give up on the coverage. If you need to drop down to a lower metal, that might be the thing that you need to do, but just be aware that you will be paying more out of pocket. And also, some people may end up feeling like, it's not even worth it to have insurance because it costs so much to get care. And I really understand how people can feel that way, and I sympathize. But it is a good source of financial protection. Even if your maximum out of pocket is $11,000, which sounds like a lot, if you don't have any coverage and you really have an incident, you could end up in owing a lot more money than that, and that would really be tragic. So even though this has been a negative development for marketplace consumers, I really do encourage people to get covered if they can and try to keep their coverage.
Kathy, you really broke that down very nicely for us. I want to thank you for doing that. And I know a lot of people are hoping that maybe before the year ends, it will in fact be extended. So all we can do is wait and see. Kathy Hempstead, Senior Policy Officer with Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Thanks for joining us.
Sure. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Well, federal airport workers who work for weeks without pay got some help at O'Hare today. The Salvation Army and Nicor Gas ran a sign up from 10 to 2 for a $250 grant. TSA, FAA, and custom workers qualify because the shutdown cut their pay. The team also gave out food and drinks, since many workers say they just cannot afford lunch right now. The same sign up happens tomorrow at Midway, so more workers can get help and money for basic bills and necessities.
Let's take another beautiful live look outside. What colors do you see today, T?
Oh, geez.
There's mango again. There's mango again. Marigold and a little bit of buttercup in there.
I got one for you, Tara.
Yeah, what
about tangerine?
Tangerine? Yeah,
that
could be right.
It's giving tangerine. Yes. That's another fruit that I see. Yeah.
Right at the horizon.
I always get hungry
around this time. A little persimmon.
Yeah. See, I did my homework this time. I studied up on a different type of way to describe my colors.
Remember, he had the 64-box crayon, so
128.
128. Oh, excuse me.
I must have only had the 24 box. I don't know. We all got the colors right tonight, though.
Yeah, we did. Look at that.
All in pink here. All right, right now, here's the view from the kind of the other side here, looking toward the east and northeast. We're still kind of cloudy over the lake at this point. Temperatures are sitting in the 50s. It's 52. We have south-southwesterly winds of 6 miles per hour. Other current temps, we're down to 49 in Woodstock, 54 in Gary, 52 in Merrillville. It's 54 in Joliet, same thing in Aurora, and we're down to 50 already in Waukegan, 53 degrees in Rensselaer. Here's where we're headed. So temperatures tonight in the city, we're going down to the low 40s. Most suburbs are going to be dropping down into the upper 30s, so a fairly seasonable night for us. And then tomorrow, we're going to be nice and sunny. Temperatures are going to soar into the 60s. So try to get out and about, enjoy that if you can. If you can't, on Saturday, things are looking pretty nice. We're just going to have a little bit more in the way of cloud cover around. So skies are going to become mostly cloudy on Saturday, but temperatures, they're still looking really nice. We're going to be warming up into the mid-60s Saturday afternoon, if not a couple spots sneaking into the upper 60s. I'm going with a high of 67 degrees at O'Hare on Saturday. Sunday, a pretty big change, though. So we're back to those November-like temps. However, it's coming along with a lot of sunshine. So on Sunday, we're going to be sunny. We'll have high temperatures in the upper 40s. Mid-40s expected on Monday. Skies are going to be partly cloudy. And then we do have a chance of rain possibly mixing in with a couple snowflakes Monday night and into Tuesday. And your temps are going to be, again, seasonable, but colder than what we're going to enjoy over the weekend in the mid-40s. Back to you.
All right, thank you. A Fox Chicago follow-up today on Aurora University football and a racism report.
And the questions experts say races on campuses across the country. And we'll look at the impact doctors say is easy to miss and hard to ignore.
Pressure is mounting on President Trump to tackle a growing cost of living crisis. And now he's turning to his favorite tool, tariffs.
Buckle up, football fans. It's time now for Toyota Talks. Manti Bears today sit atop the NFC North with the Lions. They've needed Caleb Williams to pull off comeback victories, and they have yet to beat a team with a winning record. So, are you in on the Bears?
I'm in on the direction they're going, Lou. I think what they've been able to show the past couple of weeks is their ability to win late in games. Not only to win late in games, but to come back from large margins. And I think that says a lot about Ben Johnson and what he's been trying to work on with the Bears for the X amount of months that he's been there. And I think that's a quality that not a lot of people give them credit for.
We hear that they believe that if they're still close in a game in the fourth quarter, even if they're trailing, they believe that they can still win. Can you, as a former player, appreciate that? Do you remember that in your career where you believed in your teammates that you guys were still going to come back and win?
Listen, Lou, I've been a part of both programs. I've been a part of a program where we knew that no matter what the score is, that we're going to win the game no matter what. And then I've also been on the flip side where we would lose in the fourth quarter up 21 points, and we'd find a ways to lose. So I can definitely appreciate not only the work, but the amount of attention and detail and just constant grind that it takes to reverse that mindset. It truly is a mindset, and in order for you to break that culture, it takes a lot of work from everybody's standpoint, not just Ben Johnson. So I'm very, very happy for them, because it's definitely a better place to be when you're sitting on the sideline and you're looking at that clock tick down and it's in the fourth quarter, and you have that confidence that you're still going to be able to pull it out.
If you want total health care from a provider you trust,
Hi, Blair.
right in the palm of your hand, if you want soup, sweatpants, and zero in-person contact, if you want wellness wherever, our virtual primary care delivers with great website manner.
No worries.
So choose your doctor from our profiles and enjoy the healthiest online relationship you've ever had. House calls have evolved. Advocate Healthcare.
Welcome to
Still ahead on the news at 4. Start making weekend plans because temperatures are going up before a roller coaster drop.
The Trump administration planning to cut tariffs to ease food prices. A look at what could get cheaper.
And what in the world is a portable mortgage? We'll talk about the change being considered to make home ownership more affordable.
But first, a Fox Chicago follow-up.
Yeah, this afternoon we are getting a lot of questions about a former Aurora University freshman who says 2 teammates used racial slurs and a George Floyd reference at a house off campus. The school says its investigation found his account credible and said he faced a hostile environment based on race. The university suspended the 2 players for the rest of the season. His family says the pressure on their son started before that. They say his plays got skipped in film sessions. They say some of his gear went missing. He left the school, lost his $60,000 scholarship, and those accused players were allowed to come back to the team. Now, a lot of you ask why he did not just push through. But Dr. Derek Broom studies how black students move through college life.
It shows some of the blind spots that we have when we think about sports, that the idea, and I'm thinking about this through this kind of masculine lens, that you're a man, tough it out. The idea that I should tough it out also means that I should ignore the harm that's happening to me. And I think that then lends itself for even more damage and harm that one might experience, not just in that moment, but even perhaps moving forward.
The university says it reviews every report and follows policy when there are violations. Coming up on the news at 5, why experts say after cases like this, many students now carry a kind of healthy paranoia, what that looks like in real life and what parents can do to help their kids.
A new grocery option in River North to tell you about. Aldi opened a store at 30 West Huron Street this morning. The discount supermarket took over the storefront left vacant by a Whole Foods that closed about 3 years ago. President Trump wants to use tariffs to lower the cost of your next meal. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tells Fox News tariff relief for a long list of common grocery items will be announced soon for things such as coffee, bananas, and other fruits that have gotten more expensive because of the tariffs. They will be exempt, and Bessent says that should bring prices down almost immediately. But Democrats say it's just a short-term fix that doesn't address the growing collateral damage from the tariff war.
The Trump tariffs are adding thousands of dollars per year of additional expense to everyday Americans.
The White House predicts inflation will start to decline in the first half of next year.
Stocks fell a day after President Trump ended the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Tech stocks like chip makers, including NVIDIA, dropped the most. Investors worried the Fed wouldn't raise interest rates in December. The National Economic Council says now that the September employment report is coming next week, but the October report might only show job numbers, not the unemployment rate. House hunters take note. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage went up for the second straight week. It is now 6.24%.
The White House is floating the idea of allowing homeowners to take their mortgage with them when they move.
It's called a portable mortgage. Mike Emanuel takes a look at the pros and cons.
First, it was a 50-year mortgage. Now the Trump administration says it's exploring the idea of portable mortgages as it moves to tackle the housing affordability crisis. The suggestion was floated Wednesday in a social media post by Bill Pulte, the head of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. It would essentially allow homeowners to sell their houses and buy a new one while keeping their original mortgage rate. But some business leaders say it's a bad idea because it's unlikely rates will drop below 6% anytime soon.
We had this small period of 25 years where rates dropped below 5%, and everybody thought that was going to be the future forever. And now we struggle to go back. That will never get there.
The White House wouldn't comment specifically on Pulte's proposal, but in a statement, a spokesperson told Fox News, quote, President Trump is always exploring new ways to improve housing affordability for everyday Americans. It comes just one day after the president floated a different way to lower housing costs, allowing buyers to purchase a 50-year mortgage.
This is a proposal that the president himself has commented on, and it's something that the administration is discussing and seriously looking into.
And the administration says more affordable housing proposals are in the pipeline.
We're going to be making recommendations to the president about the whole suite of housing policies.
The White House is also considering allowing assumable loans where homeowners can take over the seller's mortgage rate. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox 32, Chicago.
City officials marked the opening of another Monty Village senior residence with a ribbon cutting today.
This new building will provide affordable homes for 70 seniors in the Pullman neighborhood. This is all part of Mayor Johnson's plan to provide more affordable housing in the city. 2 other senior housing buildings, a part of the project, were built over the summer. This village is owned by Trinity United Church of Christ and was supported by the city with a donation of more than $13 million. The residence is expected to bring more jobs and development to the area.
This project represents a core belief that we all share, that people deserve not only housing but dignity. Monty Village is a senior living community that will ensure tenants feel valued and can remain connected to their community and, most importantly, their neighbors.
The mayor says the city looks forward to more groundbreaking on affordable housing residences across the city.
And we just got word today your Cook County property tax bill is coming. It's being mailed this Friday. The second installment is due December 15th. It was supposed to be due in August, but got delayed because of problems with the county's property tax system upgrade. All right, let's see what the word on the street is for the weather. And it gets more beautiful.
Yes.
every time we see this.
Yeah.
It's really
The
pretty.
progression of it.
Yeah. Did you guys get to see the Aurora Borealis at all?
Just photos that people took. Great photos.
Yeah, I
too,
know. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I know last night, from what I was seeing from photos online and everything, it didn't look quite as vibrant as what we had 2 nights ago. But either way, the fact that we were able to see that 2 nights in a row here in Chicago is pretty rare. So that was a nice little sight for us this week, especially after the snow that we had Sunday into Monday. So we've literally seen it about all this week. And now we're going to be warming into the 60s to round out the work week. Right now, here's the view. We're cloudy over the lake currently. We have temperatures that are in the 50s, south-southwesterly winds of 6 miles per hour, and no rainfall so far today. In fact, we don't have any rain in your forecast until early next work week. Temperatures tonight dropping down to about 41 degrees in the city. Most suburbs are going to wake up in the upper 30s. Here's your out-the-door forecast for Friday, whether you're heading out in the morning, the midday, or even into the afternoon hours. Things look pretty good. Lots of sunshine. We're warming up into the 60s tomorrow. I have a high of 64 degrees, sunny skies on Friday. Saturday, a few more clouds around 67, but soak it in because we are back to reality come Sunday with highs in the 40s. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. Coming up after the break, as Illinois' film industry continues to grow, the state is taking a major step to support the next generation of stagehands.
Bad news for 20-somethings. Gen Z is finding AIs taking their jobs. Is there a way to foolproof your career?
And the Trumps unveil actions to support the nation's foster care system. First Lady Melania Trump joined the president in the Oval Office today for the signing of an executive order that would bolster the nation's foster care system. The first couple says the goal is to help prepare those in foster care for a successful future after they age out of the system.
Under this major new initiative, great American companies and institutions will be signing a pledge to invest in teaching, training, and mentoring America's youth who are transitioning out of the foster care system. This will help provide jobs, education, and personal development opportunities to fantastic young people who truly need and deserve them, and they're going to get them.
The foster care initiative is part of the First Lady's Fostering the Future efforts, which are part of her Be Best initiative.
The new training center for stagehands in Chicago is open, and entertainment workers are pretty excited about it. Governor J.B. Pritzker was there cheering on the renovation. He says this new $5 million center is a big deal. It's home to the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, and it's going to give stagehands real hands-on training to boost their careers. Illinois is also rolling out a new incentive program. It offers tax credits for TV and film production costs. Governor Pritzker says this is going to make Illinois a hub for production.
Look at this building. This is spectacular. And it's evidence of the progress that's been made in the industry and most importantly by the workers, the hardworking men and women of IATSE.
For more information on training classes at the center, visit the organization's website. Over 1,000 Starbucks baristas are on strike. They walked off the job to protest what they call unfair labor practices. They're calling it the Red Cup Rebellion, and it's happening in over 40 cities across the country. The workers say they want better pay, more hours, and higher staffing levels.
For Gen Z, the generation raised on the internet, the technology they came of age with is biting back, apparently, in a big way.
They're trying to launch their careers, but in an ironic twist, these digital natives are running into stiff competition, not just from each other, but also AI. Here's Caroline Shively.
If you're wondering what Gen Z stands for, it might be Generation Zero jobs. A bit of an exaggeration, but for 20-somethings, it sure feels like it.
For those of us just graduating from college, we've been so excited to have a successful career, knowing that we've invested in our education, and then we're surprised to know that technology has replaced those jobs.
The unemployment rate for new entrants, including recent college grads and others trying to break into the full-time workforce, is at a 9-year high. Many of those new entrants are blaming artificial intelligence. According to Jobber, 77% of Gen Zers say it's a top priority to choose a career not easily replaced by automation.
In my trade, in HVAC, you got a lot of climbing around to do up in the attics and stuff like that. And I mean, I've yet to seen any AI or anything like that try to get up a ladder into the attic.
But for some careers, the competition from AI will just get tougher.
The overall AI market can be, greater than $1 trillion by the time we get to 2030.
That means Gen Z job hunters can't use the same playbook their parents did.
But we all make fun of the gender studies degrees, but we also have enough people getting communications degrees. We need to have more people in STEM, we need more people in trades, and we need more people that are becoming innovators.
New college grads are facing an especially hard time with an unemployment rate of 4.6%. compared to the overall jobless rate of 4.3%. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox 32, Chicago.
The amount you can save for retirement each year is going up. The IRS announced new contribution limits for 401ks and IRAs for 2026. Why does it sound like Dr. Seuss? Okay, the 401k limit is going up by $1,000 to $24,500. The individual retirement account limit is increasing by $500 to $7,500. Now, catch-up contributions are going up too. Don't stress out about maxing out, though. A recent one from Vanguard says only 14% of people with 401ks actually do that.
So you might wonder, what's in a name?
Well, when it comes to claiming millions of dollars in lottery winnings, a lot. Would you identify yourself if you won $1 billion, though?
Nope. Plus, Emily has our full forecast after the break. But first, here's a look at your trip.
A lot of reds, some big delays out there. The biggest is on the Ike right now. Wherever you're going, get there safe. And be kind to the other drivers on the road, too. Pizza, pizza. Here's what's trending. A woman arrested while on a pizza run. Florida police say she was clocked driving 107 in a 55 zone. What? The reason, she was trying to make it to Little Caesars Pizza before it closed. Do you?
No.
But I'm sure Domino's or Papa John's was an option if they were
right?
closed.
But we're just talking about it's better to get the pizza at the location because it's hotter, right? I mean,
I don't know. I have an air fryer, so, you know.
yeah, but doesn't it impact the pizza? No. Okay, and you know what? I get nervous when I order from Uber Eats, and we talked about this, and you see the Uber Eats guy is coming on a bicycle, and you're going, okay, that means my pizza's going to be cold for sure. Dilemmas, right?
Air fryer. Illinois lottery player celebrating a life-changing win.
Yeah.
It was a multiple life-changing win. A $3 million prize on a $30 scratch-off.
How about that? Illinois is among the states where lottery winners are now allowed to remain anonymous. So this winner chose to claim her prize under the alias Happy Grandma. You see anything there, right? Good disguise. And she's got some fun nicknames that aren't so uncommon. Other Illinois players have identified as King of Cash and Illinois' newest millionaire. Illinois' newest millionaire. Yes, that was one of the names. In Maryland, there was a Stone Cold Money and big winner with Friday's Mega Millions nearing $1 billion. I'm curious, T, and actually, Emily, what name would you choose for your secret jackpot alias?
That wouldn't be secret. Emily Walls.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm not coming out.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Or T. Lee Mo Money.
Yeah.
T. Lee, you ain't getting none of my money. Yeah, no, I want you to know.
You want to know?
I want you to know.
Yeah, I think I'd be calling everybody and be like, guess what? Your girl's rich.
I want you to know. It'll make it more fun when I tell you no, when you ask me to
Well, if anybody ever goes by Dancing Queen, then
that's
you'll
you?
know.
Oh, okay.
Or ABBA or ABBA.
Yeah, whichever's wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, if I won all that money, I'd have to be like buying my family some tractors, and they'd want like the cool ones with the GPS things, you know, like that would be the toys and like the gifts that I'm giving to my family. Yeah.
Yeah. They live on a farm.
They do. But we don't have the fancy GPS tractors.
But they will soon.
Well, you know, if Emily Walls wins that
on that check, you will see you'll see the face too.
I've been buying those lottery tickets. I've been letting Maeve pick them out because I'm like, well, if she picks them out, maybe they'll be lucky. Haven't won a thing.
I won $1 once.
Not even like $2.
Really?
Yeah, I won $1 once.
Yeah. Well, I guess we have to buy more to win.
I got a free Slurpee on a scratch off.
Oh, well, that's cool. You know,
okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
The little things.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about the drought monitor because the latest data came out this morning, and we did see an update here across northwest Indiana and the south suburbs. But think about who just got hit the hardest with all of that snow, right? So it was down right along the Indiana-Illinois border, and then over into northwest Indiana, and conveniently here, that's where we no longer have abnormally dry conditions. So all of that snow that we picked up, it actually made a pretty big difference for a lot of us, but northeastern Illinois is still dealing with it. Moderate to severe drought status for a lot of us. So we could still really use some precipitation around here, especially across northeastern Illinois. But the south suburbs, northwest Indiana, doing really well now. Your high temperatures are currently sitting, I should say the high temperatures previously were sitting in the low to mid 50s, which, by the way, is just a little bit above average for this time of the year. Your average high for today's date was 50 degrees. Tomorrow, that's dropping down to 49. But tomorrow, we're actually set to be in the 60s. We're going to be in the mid 60s on Friday, mid to upper 60s on Saturday. Soak it in, though, because by Sunday, we have that November-like air that's coming rushing back in. So we're going to be in the upper 40s for your high on Sunday, dropping it back to the mid 40s then by Monday and Tuesday. All right, looking beyond that. So this is from Wednesday through, I believe, Sunday of the following week. And we are strongly favored to see those above average conditions. So I think we're going to be in really good shape here as far as warmer than average goes, but you have to keep in mind what is average for this time of the year. Remember, average now sits in the 40s. By next week, that's going to be dropping into the mid 40s. So your 7-day forecast, 64 degrees tomorrow, lots of sunshine. We're going to be mostly cloudy on Saturday, but very warm. We're dropping back down to the 40s. Sunday, Monday, we have precipitation Monday night into Tuesday. Small chance for rain mixing in with snow. We'll be right back.
Right now at 5, SNAP is back, but another crisis could be looming for families struggling to make ends meet.
Inside the Broadview ICE detention center, what a federal judge wanted to see for themselves.
But first, Reverend Jesse Jackson in the hospital tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody, at 5. I'm Sylvia Perez. Don is on assignment.
And I'm Terrence Lee. Scott is off tonight. We begin with Jesse Jackson. The 84-year-old was hospitalized yesterday related to a rare neurological condition. Now, the Rainbow Push Coalition says he's been dealing with that for more than a decade after his Parkinson's diagnosis. We're told he is under observation at Northwestern Hospital. He retired from his role as president of Rainbow Push back in 2023. We're keeping our eye on that. We're also keeping our eye on the skies tonight. The sun is gone.
It's gone.
Yep.
We were seeing it all throughout the 4 o'clock hour. Yeah, officially set at what time?
I believe it's around late 4:20s now. I don't have the exact time, but it should be around, I think, like 4:26, 4:28, something like that. But yes, dark out there now. We've been seeing increasing cloud cover, which is expected. Tonight we're going to be partly cloudy rather than mostly clear, like what we were throughout the majority of today. Let's take a look at our temperatures now. So things are looking pretty good. We're going to be in the upper 40s to low 50s. I'm going this way. Look at me being all thrown off here. Here we go. All right, 46 degrees is where we're at over in Michigan City. 51 at O'Hare, 46 in DeKalb, and we made it to 48 degrees in Waukegan. Your evening planner, we're going to be dropping out of the 50s into the mid 40s later on this evening. Eventually tonight, we're going to be dropping down into the low 40s in Chicago. Most suburbs are looking at mid to upper 30s. So kind of a cool start to your day tomorrow, but average low temperatures actually sit right around 35 degrees. So we're staying above that. Here's the next 5 days around here. So tomorrow and Saturday look gorgeous. Make some time to get out and about. We're going to be in the 60s, which of course is way above average. Average high is now 49 degrees. And then we're dropping back to reality going into early next week. That's going to put us in the 40s. I'll have a detailed look at your weekend forecast coming up.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. A weekend food drive in Oak Park took an unexpected turn this weekend, and neighbors say federal agents showed up during the event, causing fear and forcing families to leave early.
Leslie Moreno's live in that neighborhood with how this all unfolded and what the community is doing to keep each other safe. Leslie?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, I just spoke with a woman who says it all happened here behind me in the 800 block of North Elmwood. She says this all happened on Saturday morning. She explained to me that children were in this area and they heard that terrifying moment as ICE agents pulled up in a nearby alley here near this neighborhood. The Oak Park Police Department also confirming it responded to at least 5 reports of ICE activity in Oak Park Saturday morning. They're telling us between 8:56 a.m. and 9:37 a.m. According to Oak Park Police, by the time officers arrived to the scene, federal agents were already gone. That resident I spoke to says they were completely caught off guard when federal agents showed up during what was supposed to be a simple Girl Scout food drive. Witnesses tell me they watched as several vehicles pulled up in federal agents appeared in full-blown tactical gear. In the days since, though, community members have been organizing what they're calling a whistle brigade. So people have essentially been handing out whistles, alerting people to sound the alarm if they believe immigration agents are in the area. The idea, they say, is to keep the community safe, to hopefully avoid any confrontation. Now, in terms of what this community is planning on doing about this, they do tell me, residents here, that they are planning on bringing this up at the next village meeting. For now, reporting live in Oak Park, Leslie Moreno, Fox 32, Chicago.
Thank you, Leslie. A federal judge toured the ICE processing facility in Broadview today. That site is at the center of a class action lawsuit that dives into the treatment of detainees.
The tour, we've learned, lasted more than 4 hours. Kasey Chronis has been on the ground all day. Joins us now with the latest. Kasey.
And attorneys for the ACLU and MacArthur Justice Center did not share their thoughts as they left the facility this afternoon. Part of that is because this is an active case. They need to go back and review all of the material they collected today. After heading inside around 11 this morning, we saw them leaving at about 3:30 this afternoon. Along with Magistrate Judge Laura McNally, a translator was with the group, and so is the former commissioner of New York City's Department of Correction, Dora Schiro. She was brought on as an expert for the plaintiffs in this case. The lawsuit alleging deplorable conditions on site, including clogged toilets, no access to showers, very little food and water, and no contact with attorneys. Last week, as part of this case, a judge ordered the government to fix that. Today, detainees were allowed to meet with those lawyers who were here, which is part of why that inspection took so long. While those involved directly in the suit didn't comment today, we did tap UIC professor of law Stephen Schwinn to weigh in on how rare it is for a federal judge to order this type of site visit.
This is super rare, and I think it just underscores the importance of the case, number one, but it also, number two, underscores how the judge isn't trusting what the government is telling the court about the state of the facilities. I think this is a highly skeptical judge with very good reason ordering an extraordinary tour of the facility to find out what's really going on the ground.
The government also agreed to provide a list of all the immigrants currently being detained and held at this facility. This is just one lawsuit of many pertaining to Operation Midway Blitz. Reporting live in Broadview, Kasey Chronis, Fox 32, Chicago.
Thank you, Kasey. An independent attorney is now challenging the limits that have been placed on protest hours at the Broadview ICE facility. Robert Held describes himself as an attorney and community activist. He says he's filed a motion for a preliminary injunction in federal court to stop the enforcement of the village's protest curfew hours, calling them unconstitutional.
Our constitutional rights are not from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I hope that ultimately the mayor of Broadview, Mayor Katrina Thompson, and a federal judge will very quickly recognize that the executive order was unconstitutional and can be amended.
Held says the right to protest loses its power if the government controls when people can't speak, and that he's fighting for everyone's right to assemble and be heard when it matters most.
A daycare teacher detained by ICE is now back home after being released from custody in Indiana. Diana Santillana Galeano was arrested inside a Northside daycare last week. Homeland Security says she tried to run into the center after they pulled her over, and that they were not targeting the center. Her attorneys say she is in the U.S. legally as an authorized asylum seeker.
In the meantime, the White House is putting Charlotte, North Carolina on notice that it could be next for an immigration crackdown. A county sheriff announcing today Charlotte could see an influx of federal agents as early as this weekend, and that the plan was confirmed by 2 federal officials. However, the Department of Homeland Security has declined to comment on this claim.
Though the government shutdown is over, there's still work to be done to get back to business as usual.
Connor Hansen has more on that.
The 6-week stalemate is over. Now there's a mad dash to undo the damage. 1.25 million government employees went without pay since October 1st. 10,000 flights were canceled in the past week, and many missed crucial food benefits. The economy as a whole is also expected to take a hit.
We're looking at GDP in the fourth quarter about 1.5% lower than it would have been if we didn't have the shutdown.
Federal workers should expect to be made whole within a week. Some TSA employees received a $10,000 bonus for their sacrifice.
For stepping up, taking on extra shifts, for showing up each and every day.
Air traffic controllers could get bonuses too, with flights expected to return to normal before the holidays. But there was a staffing shortage long before the shutdown.
They may be dissatisfied with the job, so time will tell.
Democrats believe it was all worth the fight trying to extend health care subsidies.
And we certainly support our hardworking federal employees, but at the same period of time, we're in the midst of a health care crisis that Republicans have created.
They're hoping Republicans will work with them over the next 2 months.
We can have policy conversations about the issues that affect our country, but holding our troops hostage, not paying our federal employees, never the appropriate way to try to get something done.
If no deal is reached, new ACA premiums will take effect on January 1st. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox 32, Chicago.
Also new this evening, the Greater Chicago Food Depository is warning the deal that ended the shutdown is still putting people at risk. The organization released a statement saying, in part, we are deeply disappointed that a deal was not reached to extend enhanced premium tax credits for health care. They estimate more than 400,000 people in Illinois rely on those credits and will be forced to choose between paying for health insurance and buying food for their families.
Chicago's treasurer just pulled city money out of the U.S. Treasury bond. She says the move protests President Trump. The decision hits about $200 million the city held in those bonds. It also affects the $10 billion portfolio her office manages. Conservative aldermen are pushing back and say the city should support the country. They also say Treasury bonds give strong returns for taxpayers, but the treasurer says other options earn the same rate and keep city money safe.
Entertainment workers
are celebrating the opening of a new training center for stagehands today. Governor J.B. Pritzker joined the celebration, commending entertainment workers across the state. The new $5 million center will be home to the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, stagehands. It will provide hands-on training to help stagehands further their careers. Illinois now offers an incentive program, too, with tax credits for TV and film production costs, which Governor Pritzker hopes will continue to make Illinois a production hub.
Look at this building. This is spectacular. And it's evidence of the progress that's been made in the industry and, most importantly, by the workers, the hardworking men and women of IATSE.
For more information on the training classes at the center, visit IATSElocal2.com.
You know, you just read my script. Do you know that?
Yeah. I appeared on camera for you, too, like an animated movie. Up next, some fallout from that government shutdown deal.
Yeah, the federal government just outlawed most intoxicating hemp products. So what does that mean for all those Delta 8 and 9 drinks and vapes that are sold across Chicago? When we come... Fair.
The days are numbered for hemp-derived drinks and products like Delta 8 and 9 weed in Illinois and across the country.
That's because a small part of the federal government reopening deal banned them for good. Political reporter Paris Schutz is here to explain. This was a surprise for many people.
Surprise, it kind of happened in cloak and dagger with this government reopening bill. You know, these products like Delta 8 vapes or the drinks, they're sold all over the region now. That's because of a loophole in the Farm Bill passed in 2018. It left out any regulation. So businesses started popping up and selling the things you see right there, and drinks and convenience stores that get you high. Now, state and city lawmakers have tried and failed to put regulations on them. And now, thanks to this bill in the federal government, the businesses have 1 year to cease operations as the products will be illegal. Now, Charles Wu is the owner of Shy Tiva, which sells Delta 8 products in Bucktown and South Loop. He says everything's been thrown up for grabs.
This stuff is in everyday society. It's not going to go away, right? So instead of having honest business people who are willing to be regulated, it's going to push it into some gray market or other thing, because the consumers have obviously spoken, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses just in Chicago alone.
Now, proponents of this ban say that without regulations, the products were dangerous. It's impossible to know what exactly is in them. Not to mention the legal cannabis stores, where they were incensed because they paid millions of dollars to comply with strict regulatory rules here, while these businesses seem to get off scot-free. Now, the city had budgeted new hemp taxes that could have brought in an estimated $10 million. That's all out the window now. Second Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins says he's glad, but the process of dismantling this entire industry will be very complicated.
We're expecting some guidance from the FDA. We're possibly even hopeful that we'll get some federal assistance to jurisdictions like Illinois that have a thriving legal cannabis industry. We need help. We can't do this overnight. We can't just purge the shelves of gas stations and mini marts of these illegal products. And we're going to need to hire regulators and enforcers, and there's a cost to that. So we went from thinking that we were going to make money on this by taxing it. Now we're going to have to spend money because it's a government expense to try to regulate these products out of existence. But public safety demands that we do that.
The goal here is to keep our children safe. That really is my #1 goal about regulating intoxicating hemp. And when it's available everywhere and it's got names like Skittles with a Z on the end, and it looks the same as, you know, the Skittles, the candy, it's just not right. And I have been disappointed that the industry here has been unwilling to accept proper regulation. So now we'll end up at the table talking about how best to move forward.
Governor Pritzker there has long tried to get some state regulations on hemp-derived weed products, now signaling with this new federal ban, maybe there is an avenue
to some sort of legalization in Illinois that could keep these businesses operating. Terrence?
And you'll have more on this on Chicago Report?
Chicago Report, 10 o'clock tonight. Yes, thank you very much for the plug.
Oh, yeah, you got it anytime. All right, we just got word today your Cook County property tax bill is coming. It's being mailed this Friday. The second installment is due December 15th. It was supposed to be due in August, but got delayed because of problems with the county's property tax system upgrade.
More than 1,000 Starbucks baristas are now on strike. They walked off the job to protest what they call unfair labor practices. They're calling it the Red Cup Rebellion, and it's happening in more than 40 cities across the country. The workers want better pay, more hours, and higher staffing levels. Well, federal airport workers who still work without pay got help at O'Hare today. The Salvation Army and Nicor Gas ran a sign-up from 10 to 2 for a $250 grant. TSA, FAA, and customs workers qualify because the shutdown cut their pay. The team also gave out food and drinks since many workers cannot buy lunch right now. The same sign-up happens tomorrow at Midway, so more workers can get money for basic bills.
All right, another gorgeous day out there. Had a lot of sun. Clearly that's gone now. And the warmer temperatures will be gone for a little bit of time too, right? Emily, we're going down to the 30s, 40s?
30s and 40s tonight. That's right. So it's going to be kind of chilly during the overnight, but typically for this time of the year, your average low is right around 35 degrees. So tonight, We're going to be pretty close to that. It's fairly seasonable out there tonight. As of right now, we're sitting in the upper 40s to low 50s. But guess what? Tomorrow, we are going up into the 60s. So it's going to get very nice and warm tomorrow afternoon. Futurecast taking us throughout the next few hours. Around here, again, temperatures dropping down into the 40s. Notice by 9 p.m. or so, a lot of us are going to be in the low to mid 40s by this point. And then eventually tomorrow morning, suburbs are going to be waking up to the upper 30s. In the city, we start off the day in the upper 30s for suburbs. There we go. Low 40s for the city. And then through the day tomorrow, things look fantastic. We're going to be in the mid 60s out in the suburbs, in the city, closer to the lakefront. We are looking at low to mid 60s tomorrow. Lots of sunshine expected too. And if you don't have an opportunity to enjoy this tomorrow, we're still going to be really nice and warm going into your weekend as well. On Saturday, we're expected to be in the mid to upper 60s. For tonight, 41. We'll have south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Again, upper 30s for the suburbs. Your 5-day forecast tomorrow, 64. Lots of sunshine on Friday. Saturday, we're going to cloud things over, but 67 degrees. So that cloud cover, it's really not going to slow down how much we're able to heat up, but soak it in, because totally different story on Sunday. It's back to November reality going into early next week. We're down to the mid 40s on Monday. Then Monday night into Tuesday, we do have the chance for some rain mixing in with a couple snowflakes, and then it should just be plain old rain showers going into your Tuesday with a high of 45. Back to you.
The break, call it a gold rush.
Yeah, I'll call it that, right? Prices are booming for the precious metal and forcing jewelry makers to get creative. There is a gold rush of sorts going on in America right now. A lot of people are running to buy it as the price has more than doubled since the start of 2024, recently hitting a record high at more than $4,000 an ounce.
Kaylee Schuyler joins us live in New York. Kaylee, what's going on?
Hey, Terrence and Sylvia. So I'm in Midtown Manhattan, just a block away from a bunch of jewelry stores known as the Diamond District. It's a very busy area full of people window shopping, looking for deals. And nowadays, a lot of people are eyeing gold because many believe it holds its value better in the long run than cash. So especially in times of economic uncertainty caused by things like President Trump's tariffs and the recent government shutdown, a lot of people are going for the gold. So to put this in perspective for you, the metal was trading around $2,000 per ounce at the start of last year. By this October, gold had reached its highest level ever at around $4,300 per ounce. Today, it's pretty close to that record high at around $4,200. And analysts believe gold's value will continue to climb. I talked to the owner of Ross Metals in the Diamond District. The business buys and sells different metals. The VP of operations says they're finding ways to manage the increasing cost of gold. So, for example, to help their customers, they're creating more semi-solid gold chains as opposed to solid because they're sold based on their weight. So customers can get the same look without a huge price tag.
It's been fun trying to combat it, and a lot of people now look at gold more so as an investment like never before. So before, obviously, gold bars, gold coins, tons of investments. And people think of those as investments. Nothing really you can do with those things, but a gold chain now, like the one I'm wearing, now feels more, instead of a materialistic item, feels more of an investment item that you can enjoy as well.
JP Morgan is predicting that the average cost of gold will be more than $5,000 per ounce by the end of 2026. In New York, Kaylee Schuyler, Fox 32 Chicago.
Thank you, Kaylee. Police in Royal Oak, Michigan had quite the call last weekend.
Yeah, suspected drunk driver slammed into an Ulta beauty store over and over again. The 26-year-old woman caused thousands of dollars worth of damage, police say. She is charged with several felonies, including malicious destruction of property. Thank goodness no one was hurt seriously.
Still ahead, we follow up on a special report.
Yeah, we speak with experts about the reaction to our story on Aurora University's football program and alleged racist incidents.
I'm Luke Canellis. Hey, Bears are a different team than the group that gave away the opener to the Vikings. We'll tell you how. And Billy Donovan wants his Bulls to play like a desperate bunch. And when they don't, well, they have games like last night. We'll hear from Donovan later in sports.
At Ashley's.
Right now, exciting news for wrestling fans here in Chicago.
Verizon announces thousands of company-wide layoffs along with other changes.
But first, a Fox Chicago follow-up. Our special report on the former Aurora University football player who said teammates targeted him with racial slurs, sparking a wave of questions.
Including how a moment like this shapes a young person. Tonight, we take a closer look at the impact and what families can learn from it.
Really, it's just like, am I enough? Like, what did I do to deserve this?
That question is the aftermath. 18-year-old Brooke Williams says two teammates targeted him with racial slurs and a George Floyd reference inside a house off campus in August. Aurora University's investigation found his account credible and confirmed he faced a hostile environment on the basis of race. Brooke stayed on the team during the process. The two accused players stayed too.
The coach told them just go in there and be humble. And, you know, it'll blow over is what he told him. It's in the report.
The university issued its first sanction after that. The two players were suspended for the rest of the season. But before that decision came down, the family says the retaliation had already started. Brooks says his plays were skipped in film sessions. Some of his gear went missing. He left weeks later and lost his scholarship.
He shut down for a while after this.
It's dimmed his light a little bit.
He's in therapy. Which is huge.
To understand how that kind of hurt can follow someone, we turn to Dr. Derek Brooms.
It's a level of frustration, and at the same time, it's not necessarily a surprise. This is what we see in a good deal of the research literature.
He leads the Black Men's Research Institute at Morehouse College and studies how black students move through college life. Online, many ask why Brooke didn't just tough it out. Dr. Brooms says what some call toughness can also be damage.
Football is a space where we talk about things like, you know, this is a family.
They push that a lot, that it's a brotherhood. I didn't feel like it was a brotherhood at all.
If we're all in it together, why am I being singled out? And not singled out based on my ability, which would still be problematic, but clearly on my race and ethnic background. It creates mistrust. It creates a lack of safety.
Others ask why no other black players came forward. Dr. Broom says that does not cancel out what Brooke shared.
We all are on our own journeys and pathways. There may be other players who may have experienced something like this. We don't know what they've experienced, and we can't question them on why they didn't speak up.
Instead of focusing on who did not speak up, sociologists and campus psychologists say students look at their own risk. If this can happen to Brooke, it can happen to me. Researchers call that healthy paranoia or cultural mistrust.
There's this sense of I need to actually prepare myself for potentially challenging, stressful, psychologically challenging experiences.
Brooke plans to enroll somewhere new in January. His credits won't transfer because Aurora is a private university. His mom says she wants campuses to center care and accountability.
No child should have to go through this at all.
So what can parents do? Dr. Broom says start with 3 basics.
We have to inform our children about some of the realities that continue to exist in our society. We have to ensure that our young people understand self-love. The third thing is self-advocate.
And this does not only affect black students. Dr. Broom says he sees the same patterns with Latino, Asian, first-generation, queer, and low-income students, too, who feel on the outside.
It is rife within higher education. If we don't put mechanisms and supports in place, it can be fertile ground for some very, hard, harmful, disturbing experiences that people carry with them long after college and, may lead to attrition.
The university says federal privacy laws limit what it can share. It says every report is reviewed and action follows when there are policy violations. The appeal decision shows the 2 players must complete racial sensitivity training and can return in January.
We need education for folks to understand that these types of behaviors continue to perpetuate the harm that have existed in this country for decades. So sensitivity training, sure, and then what? Is it a check off because I went? Yeah. Because then there's no accountability for what I supposedly had learned. So what are the follow-up steps?
And without real follow-through, Brooks's mom says the aftermath lands on her son as a question about his worth.
You go to school to get an education and to have fun and to gain lifelong friends, not to now have mental health issues or, things like that because of what was said to you and you did nothing to deserve it.
Dr. Brum says harm does not end when an investigation ends, and he says institutions often address the moment, but not the impact that follows. The family says they are considering legal action and have been in touch with the NAACP.
We'll hope the best for him and he's doing well. Let's find out what you can expect with the forecast for this evening. Emily, you're standing in front of a lit up Willis Tower there,
yes.
huh?
It's a gorgeous night out there. For the first time in a while, it's not very breezy outside, which is a nice change. We're starting to see some higher level clouds trying to build in, so we're going to be partly cloudy during the overnight, but your temperatures, they're still fairly comfortable. We're at 51 degrees. We have south winds only 3 miles per hour. Throughout the overnight, we're only going to be in that 5 to 10 mile per hour range. Temperatures tonight, we're dropping down to about 41 degrees in the city. Most suburbs are going to be dropping down into the upper 30s. An average low for this time of the year is right around 34, 35 degrees. So we're going to stay just above that. Your out the door forecast for your Friday, whether you're heading out in the morning, the midday hours, even into the afternoon. Gorgeous sky conditions, lots of sunshine. Temps are going to be warming into the 60s. We should be at 63 by 2. Seeing a high temperature of 64 degrees during the afternoon. And then on Saturday, we get even warmer, but we're going to cloud things over. So it's not going to be quite as sunny. We're going to be mostly cloudy on Saturday with a high of 67. And then on Sunday, we are dropping back down to the 40s, which, by the way, is seasonable for this time of November. Back to you.
Buckle up, football fans. It's time now for Toyota Talks. Manti, Bears today sit atop the NFC North with the Lions. They've needed Caleb Williams to pull off comeback victories, and they have yet to beat a team with a winning record. So, are you in on the Bears?
I'm in on the direction they're going, Lou. I think what they've been able to show the past couple of weeks is their ability to win late in games. Not only to win late in games, but to come back from large margins. And I think that says a lot about Ben Johnson and what he's been trying to work on with the Bears for the X amount of months that he's been there. And I think that's a quality that not a lot of people give them credit for.
We hear that they believe that if they're still close in a game in the fourth quarter, even if they're trailing, they believe that they can still win. Can you, as a former player, appreciate that? Do you remember that in your career where you believed in your teammates that you guys were still going to come back and win?
Listen, Lou, I've been a part of both programs. I've been a part of a program where we knew that no matter what the score is, that we're going to win the game no matter what. And then I've also been on the flip side where we would lose in the fourth quarter up 21 points and we'd find a ways to lose. So I can definitely appreciate not only the work, but the amount of attention and detail and just constant grind that it takes to reverse that mindset. It truly is a mindset. And in order for you to break that culture, it takes a lot of work from everybody's standpoint, not just Ben Johnson. So I'm very, very happy for them because it's definitely a better place to be when you're sitting on the sideline and you're looking at that clock tick down and it's in the fourth quarter and you have that confidence that you're still going to be able to pull it out.
Coming up next, holiday shopping might look a little different this year. That's thanks to our robot overlords.
How AI could play a major role this season.
New for you tonight, Verizon says it's getting ready to cut about 15,000 jobs. The telecommunications giant is looking to cut costs with former PayPal leader and Newark, New Jersey native Dan Schulman, recently installed as CEO. 200 Verizon stores will be shifted into franchised operations. The cuts will take place in the next week. Unionized workers are not expected to be affected by these layoffs.
The busy holiday shopping season is already upon us, and shoppers are leaning into AI in a bigger way this year.
Evan Brown has more in this edition of our Fox on Tech series.
It seems to start earlier every year. The busy holiday shopping season is kicking off, and we're already seeing a big shift in retail behavior thanks to artificial intelligence. The professional services company Accenture says its annual survey shows 8 in 10 consumers plan to use AI tools for holiday shopping, and retailers are taking note.
It's able to draw across, the huge range of information out there and explain things to shoppers in very simple and understandable terms. And I think that human nature of AI as a tool is the thing that's driving that huge step up in usage.
But with all that new technology comes new frustration. Shopper stress is intensifying this year, with some 85% of customers saying they're feeling overwhelmed with too many choices. But experts say the new AI tools can actually help streamline those options.
It's helping them with resolving this question around having overwhelming decisions, raising their level of confidence they're actually choosing the right things.
And of course, what happens online is having a big impact on brick and mortar stores. A growing number of frontline workers are reporting burnout and fatigue, mostly because of angry or impatient customers. And with more consumers doing their shopping online, retailers are concerned about worker retention.
They're a thought for frontline retail workers this year.
Overall, shoppers aren't slowing down this holiday season. 9 out of 10 of them plan to spend at least what they spent last year. In Miami, Evan Brown, Fox 32, Chicago.
After the break, a warm-up is coming.
Emily has a full forecast just ahead.
Plus, wrestling fans have something to look forward to this February.
I'm Luke Canellis. Hey, Bulls have cooled off after their hot start, and we'll hear from Billy Donovan after the Bulls' 4th straight loss.
The Bears defense is looking to rewrite the script against the Vikings after giving up 21 points in the 4th quarter, week 1. Hear how they plan on limiting Justin Jefferson later in sports.
This
Check it out. Some incredible footage still coming in from the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. I like to show off and say that now because I used to say Sarah Bareilles, like the singer. I could never get Aurora Borealis out. Anyway, the Northern Lights put on quite a show this week in the Midwest and Northeast. These are videos you're looking at right here from Wisconsin, Ohio, and Pennsylvania.
Very beautiful. Not last night, 2 nights ago, there were reports all the way down in Texas of the Northern Lights. So yeah, it was a pretty crazy event that we had 2 nights ago. Yeah. Last night it wasn't quite as pronounced, but either way, you know, we saw quite a few photos that were coming in around the Chicagoland area, and the fact that we were able to see that 2 nights in a row,
that's pretty cool.
This far south in Chicago.
Nice little visual treat. I'm surprised Sarah Bareilles has not written a song about the Aurora Borealis.
Well, maybe you need to reach out to her.
Teddy Swims has a song, by the way, called Northern Lights. Check it out. Not now. Listen to Emily. She's got details to tell you.
All right, your drought monitor. This is all new data coming to you this morning. So we had this updated earlier today. For those of you in the south suburbs, northwest Indiana, do you notice anything different here? You were removed from the abnormally dry conditions. And if you remember all of the snow that we picked up Sunday night and into Monday morning, well, it lines up really well with where we're seeing the really nice conditions now that have been removed from that abnormally dry status. So along the Indiana-Illinois border, over into northwest Indiana, we're in really good shape now, but still across northeastern Illinois, where we did not see a lot of that snow, we still have moderate to severe drought status listed there. Your high temperatures today, we ended up topping out in the mid to upper 50s. It was a very nice day, above average. Typically for this time of the year, your average high stands around 50 degrees for today, but tomorrow, that number drops to 49 degrees. We're going to be in the mid 60s for your highs tomorrow, mid to upper 60s expected on Saturday. Then on Sunday, it's kind of back to reality here. We're going down into the mid to upper 40s early next week, and there could be a chance for a couple snowflakes to mix in with some rain showers Monday night into early Tuesday. Satellite and radar, things are quiet for now, but we do have some cloud cover rolling overhead. So currently, we're mostly cloudy, but then later on tonight, skies are going to become partly cloudy. So it's not going to be as cloudy out there late tonight. And by early tomorrow morning, we're getting back to mostly clear skies. We're going to see a lot of sunshine for your Friday. Temperatures in the morning, we're going to be waking up in the upper 30s to low 40s, so kind of a chilly start. But then throughout the day, notice the wind direction. We'll have southerly winds, so that's bringing in that warmer air. Temperatures very easily topping out in the 60s tomorrow afternoon. I think most of us are going to be in the low to mid 60s on Friday, but then on Saturday, it's going to get even warmer. So take a look at the wind direction here. So we're turning a little more to the southwest. Some models trying to bring in a couple stray showers for us. At this point, I'm really not too concerned about that for Saturday. I think we stay dry, but we do have a cold front that's going to come through, and that's going to bring in much colder conditions for your Sunday. So soak up those 60s on Friday and Saturday, because Sunday, yes, we'll have sunshine, but it's going to be a lot colder with highs only in the 40s. For tonight, 41 in the city, most suburbs in the upper 30s, excuse me. We'll have south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your 7-day forecast tomorrow, 64, lots of sunshine, mostly cloudy skies on Saturday, becoming sunny again by Sunday. Highs early next week going to be in the mid to upper 40s, but we do have that chance of rain, maybe a couple snowflakes mixing in Monday night into early Tuesday. But during the daytime hours of Tuesday, it's only about a 20-30% chance of showers. A lot of us are going to stay dry, but temperatures are just returning to near normal values for November. And of course, that's going to put us in the mid to upper 40s. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. WWE is back at the UC for the first time in more than 30 years. Your favorite wrestlers will be live in action on February 28th, and tickets go on sale next Thursday.
Well, this Sunday, we'll see the Bears and the Vikings wrestle. Time to check out what's happening in sports.
Lou Canellis joining us with that. Lou.
Yeah, you're right, T. Big game on Sunday. Bears are a better team than the one that gave away the opener to the Vikings. Their run game far better. Their pass defense, though, will be challenged. Minnesota's duo receiver, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, one of the game's best. And the Bears could be without 3 starters in that defensive secondary. Jaquan Brisker hasn't practiced all week with a bad back. Kasey Chronis has more.
The Bears believe they're a completely different team from when they lost to the Vikings week 1 in prime time and want to rewrite the script after giving up 21 points in the 4th quarter.
Just finish the job. The game ain't over till double zeros on the clock, and so the only lesson I really could take from that is just do our job.
We're going to try to definitely redeem ourselves this week. If it If we can make it to where it's not close, we would love to. But if it gets to that point in the game where we're having a lead in the fourth quarter, we want to be able to finish that game.
Still feel like we're a growing defense. I don't think we really have even scratched the surface of what I think we can be, and so.
The Vikings will have Jordan Addison in addition to Justin Jefferson this time around. The Bears held Jefferson to just 44 yards in Week 1, but the four-time Pro Bowler is one of, if not the best, at his position.
Confidence is sky high. One-on-one, he believes he can, make a play against anybody. But he also brings a certain level of toughness, swagger to any offense.
He's a great receiver, and they scheme him open or anything like that. So just doing our best to keep his explosives, keep his catches and everything to a minimum.
I think he's got a great feel for the game. He does a great job of understanding how to set up his routes to create separation.
On offense, the Bears are preparing for a Brian Flores blitz-heavy defense that brings a lot of unscouted looks.
Flo is game to game as far as what he's going to show you. They've done a great job of generating pressure just as a defensive front. And so every game is a new one when you're going against him.
This is the type of coordinator and defense that likes to do those things, so we're always on our P's and Q's when those things might arise. I don't think it's anything that's kind of like, oh, they're blitzing, I need to do this, I need to do that. It's just really, oh, they're blitzing, let me make sure I'm dialed in on my job, making sure I need to know what I'm doing and all that.
And the Bears got some players back at practice today, including DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, DeAndre Swift, Kevin Byard, and Tyreek Stevenson. Jaquan Brisker missed a second straight practice with a back injury. At Hallis Hall, Kasey Carlson, Fox 32 Sports.
Thanks, Cassie. Caleb Williams giving defenses fits. His 17-yard dash here put away the Giants. Williams learning how to use his feet as a weapon. Fox's lead team of Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi. They'll call a Bears game for the first time since the Dallas game.
They're a totally different team from when we went into, last time we hung out when we had dinner and, before week 3. And I get it. Like, they haven't, beaten anybody, as they say, whatever. They got 6 wins. And I just don't think you apologize for winning in this league. Overall, the bottom line is you pay quarterbacks to win the game. And you pay quarterbacks to win the game late. And that's what he's done. Not saying it's been perfect, not saying there's not room for improvement, but he's definitely a better player now than he was a year ago. There's no question about it.
Yeah, coming up tonight on CST, Kasey Carlson with a Bears report from Hallis Hall. We'll hear from the coordinators, Dennis Allen and Declan Doyle. Fox's Kevin Burkhardt right there on Caleb Williams in the clutch. And is Nick Costos betting on the Bears? 6 o'clock on Fox Local, 9:30 on Fox 32. Hey, Bulls caught everyone's attention with their 6-1 start. Those doubters who weren't buying the fast start, well, they're saying I told you so after the Bulls suffered their 4th loss in a row last night to the Pistons, who won without 4 of 5 starters. An embarrassing effort from the Bulls.
That was the biggest surprise to me, is there was absolutely zero desperation. And we need to be desperate. We're not talented enough not to be desperate. And we're not gifted enough not to be desperate. We have to be desperate. And I feel like up to this point in time this season, we've played with that kind of mentality. And I didn't think we played with that mentality. And if we don't play with that mentality, that's what we look like.
Telling it like it is. Bulls play at Utah Sunday. Blackhawks host Toronto Saturday. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
I wanted to overserve the fans in terms of the amount of songs they were going to hear and how far I was going to push myself. My main goal.
Taylor Swift is pulling back the curtain on her massively successful Eras tour in a new 6-episode docuseries, The End of an Era. The series also features Sabrina Carpenter, Travis Kelce, and Ed Sheeran, along with her band, dancers, crew, and family members. 2 episodes will debut on Disney Plus each week, beginning on December 12th. And I bet it'll do well.
Yeah, so no one bother this one on December 12th, because that's what
right.
we'll be watching.
I am a big fan. I can't say I'm obsessed.
Wow, okay.
No, I'm a big fan, though. I appreciate it, and I'm here for it. All right, 7-day forecast for you. The next couple of days, we're in the 60s. Soak it up, because next week, guys, we are going back to November.
I'm obsessed with the warm-up. Thanks for joining us at 5.
And now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on all the streaming platforms.
See ya.
It's payback time for the Bears, who gave away the opener to the Vikings. Kasey Chronis joins us from